Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mailbox for the 15th of August 2011. My name is Totalbiscuit, bringing you your daily dose of community interaction, gaming discussion, and all that good stuff. You can email in mailbox@cynicalbrit.com. That is mailbox@cynicalbrit.com with topics for future shows. This will most likely be a short one, and my apologies for that. That is simply because I've just got back in from Bloodstock. That was the festival I was at for the last few days, and then I'm turning right around again. I'm going out at 7 in the morning to get on a train to go to Cologne, to go to Gamescom, to bring you all sorts of wonderful, wonderful things. We just got a brand new camera for this event. It's amazing. Really, really great quality camera. Very pricey, but we hope that it will bring you the quality that you deserve. And I would ask you, if you have an interest in a particular game, to let us know in the comments below what you want to see video footage of. Bear in mind that we'll only be able to take video footage of things that we're allowed to take video footage of. Some things we won't be able to do. But yes, we will be looking at stuff like Battlefield 3, Modern Warfare 3, League of Legends Dominion, Dota 2, Guild Wars 2, Knights of the Old Republic, or indeed just the Old Republic. What else we got? Yeah, all sorts of really, really awesome stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to bring you tons and tons of footage, live WTFs, as well as interviews with developers. That is all coming in the next few days. So as a result, hopefully you guys can understand that Mailbox will be very much a fleeting thing. Once I am through this month of craziness, it'll be back on schedule as normal. But as I said, if there is something that you know is going to be at Gamescom and you want us to have a look at, please let us know in the comments section below this video. And if you see that someone's already suggested it, then the way to let us know that that is something you're really interested in is to vote it up. Vote, vote, vote. Yes. Click the thumbs button. But yes, because I have basically no time at all, this is recycled footage in the background and all that good stuff. I just want to let you know about Gamescom and, of course, just answer a couple of emails. So the first email comes in from Andrew, who says, I've noticed that there are many disagreements and arguments that are sprouting everywhere between League of Legends players and HON players. The anger between these two communities is just indescribable. Some players who just want to play the game are caught in between that sort of war over which game is better. Can you think of reasons why there's so much anger? It's the very embodiment of my game is better than your game, isn't it? It's two really similar games that both came from the same place, both released around the same time, and are both perhaps competing for the same slice of the pie. And let's be honest, both have really awful communities to back them up. I play League of Legends a lot, and I know just how bad the community is. I know how bad the HON community is, simply because I've been on the receiving end of some of their more choice things. I think the weird thing about the HON community is that they're the only people that believe that the best way to get new players into the game is to try and bully them into playing their game by calling them names if they don't. And you know what, that actually doesn't work, which might explain why HON is not doing as well as League of Legends right now. And the HON fanboys can come out and scream at me all they damn well like, but the figures are there and plain to see. It is blindingly obvious that League of Legends is leaving HON behind in terms of number of players. And indeed, why would it not? It's been a very accessible version of that particular genre, the most accessible version of the genre to date, and of course it's free to play, so there's a lot going for it in that regard, and Heroes of Newerth has just tried to ape it. So there you go. Be interesting to see what Dota 2 does to the mix, but I have a feeling it's just going to cause more fighting. Whatever the case, it's just a very, very sad thing indeed, is it not? We can talk about HON all we like as being unnecessarily complex and having dumb features that don't really make any sense, such as creep denying, and then of course the HON guys can turn around and say, oh well, if your game doesn't have creep denying, then it's not a competitive game. And the HON guys can actually validly say that Riot hasn't properly supported the competitive scene of League of Legends because it doesn't have a proper spectator mode, an observer and replay system yet, and they would be absolutely correct. Riot, get it dealt with. And then we can turn around and say, well, we don't care about the competitive scene because it's only the vast minority of people that get involved in that. We just want to play the game, so that's what we care about. And yeah, people just are stuck in the middle, as you said, and it's just so dumb. Please just play the game you want to play and stop trying to press gang people into playing the game that you play as opposed to the game that they play. You can play HON, you can play LoL, you can play Dota, you can play Dota 2 when it comes out. You can play Rise of the Immortals and all those other MOBA games. Hell, if you so desire, you can play SOTIS, Storm of the Imperial Sanctum within StarCraft 2, and then perhaps Blizzard Dota when the Heart of the Swarm expansion for SC2 comes out. I don't care. Play whatever you like. Play what is enjoyable to you. You know what really annoys me is the amount of time that's actually spent arguing over these games as opposed to actually freaking playing them. I mean, come on, guys. Really, if you love your game so much, then please just go and play it. You know what? You'll become better at it if you spend more time playing it and less time arguing about whether or not your game is the superior game. It really is kind of pathetic, is it not? I mean, the outside world would view that as absolutely ridiculous, and while I don't agree with the outside world on many things, this is one of the things that I have to go with them on and just say, look, guys, you are being absolutely goddamn stupid. This is your leisure time. Don't waste it. You have a limited amount of it. As you grow older, that time is going to get less and less and less as you end up with a girlfriend or you end up with a wife and then you start a family. And of course, you've got to deal with your job and your career and things like that. And you'll suddenly find that all of this wasted time that you had as a teenager or indeed in your early 20s, perhaps when you were a student or otherwise unemployed, that was wasted on arguing about whether or not Hon or LOL is better, could have been invested in just playing the games that you certainly will not have the time to play anymore. A depressing thought, perhaps, a sobering one. Maybe that might be the kind of thing that pushes you into action, but somehow I think not. I expect half the comments of this particular video to be along the lines of Hot is better, LOL is better, Aeon of Strife is better. Scrubs. This one comes in from Kobe Polies. I've been following Battlefield 3 news lately, and it seems to me that it's just going to turn out to be more like a sequel to Battlefield Bad Company 2, rather than a true BF2 sequel. Granted, these may just be rumors, but it seems more and more likely. The absence of a commander with a command interface, 6-person squads with leaders, a command rows, spotting rows, artillery strikes, supply drops, and huge maps makes me a sad panda. What DICE doesn't seem to realize is that it wasn't jets and prone that made Battlefield 2 great, it was the whole Battlefield experience, the immersion. I understand huge maps may not be possible on consoles, but console players are more than capable of playing a commander and using a command rows. I don't understand why they would leave out a key mechanic that added a tactical side to the game, promoted teamwork, and made it stand out among the other multiplayer FPS. To me, a great sequel is one that combines new and intuitive design and mechanics on top of a solid foundation that made the previous game so great while discarding the bad stuff. Refine first, then add new ideas. It seems that they are doing this, but they're using Bad Company 2 as the template, not Battlefield 2. Why not just call their new game Bad Company 3? I've heard you mention you've played Bad Company 2, but I'm unsure if you were a BF2 player back in the day, so my question to you is this. Would you be disappointed if BF3 was more like BC2 rather than BF2? Of course, any more thoughts on this subject would be greatly appreciated. I played both at great length. The thing I remember about Battlefield 2 is not, in fact, the whole commander role. In fact, I personally view the way that they implemented the commander role as bad. You want to know why? Because if you wanted to be an effective commander, you had to effectively remove yourself from the battle. It was kind of dumb. I remember doing commanding back in the day, and if you wanted to do a lot of it, and you wanted to consistently give orders and things like that, you had to be going prone in the most inconspicuous place imaginable and not actually fight, which to me sucks. I mean, that's a horrible, horrible thing. And more often than not, the kind of person that wants to be the commander is the wrong kind of person to be your commander. As regards to artillery strikes and things like that, once again, artillery strikes is not exactly a feature that I was a huge fan of. I don't miss it. I really, really do not. I think that the game does not need stuff like that. If you're going to have a commander role, it needs to be in such a way that the commander can command effectively while still fighting effectively. As far as I'm concerned, it needs to be a hierarchy role using voice over IP and things like that. It doesn't need to be some system whereby you are stuck on the map, issuing orders and using your special abilities whenever they come off cooldown, and of course, repeatedly spotting. That's something that you did an awful lot of as a commander. So I don't really care about those things. You know what I remember from Battlefield 2? Combined Arms Warfare. As far as I'm concerned, that is what made it stand out. That's what Battlefield 1942 stood out for. Combined Arms Warfare. There really weren't all that many games at the time that effectively did that. So, as far as I'm concerned, if it's got plenty of Combined Arms Warfare and vehicles are actually required in order to succeed, and it doesn't become, as you said, basically a COD clone. It needs to be something along the lines of infantry supported by armor, supported by helicopters and planes and things like that, and ground control across large maps. That's what Battlefield to me actually is. And it is adding some new things, including, of course, the suppression mechanic, which to me seems like a very, very good idea indeed. So, for me, the command role and the way that it was implemented, particularly in Battlefield 2, is not remotely important. I actually don't care. So I don't know if they're using Bad Company 2 as a template. I certainly know that they're taking some ideas from Bad Company 2, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but you also have to bear in mind that Bad Company 2 took ideas from Battlefield 2. So it's all derivative of the Battlefield 2 experience that you hopefully knew and loved. As to what they could do perhaps to really fix it entirely is to open the damn game up. What you want is something like Project Reality. All of this kind of stuff could be very easily implemented with a mod, and DICE wouldn't have to worry about it in any way, shape, or form. It also wouldn't have to infringe on the console kiddies, or whatever the hell you want to call it. If someone wanted to implement a commander mode into a mod, then they could do that. If someone wanted to make a clone or indeed a sequel to Project Reality or any of the other really fantastic mods that were available for Battlefield 2, Battlefield Pirates, please, gimme, then they could do that. The fact that they are not able to do that is the biggest problem, and this is why people are so concerned about the mechanics of the game, because they know they can't do anything with them. If it was just a good solid engine and say, well, if you like the Battlefield 3 experience vanilla, then you are more than entitled to play it, but if you don't, then get to work on those mods, then I think everyone would really be happy. It's because they can't do that they're a little bit worried about how this turns out. Personally, I think I'm actually more interested in Red Orchestra 2 than either Modern Warfare 3 or Battlefield 3, but I will certainly be giving Battlefield 3 a shot now that they have rescinded that ridiculous pre-order exclusives thing. But yeah, I wouldn't be disappointed with Battlefield 3 being all that much like BC2, because I really, really liked BC2. Honestly, I've liked pretty much all the Battlefield games, and once again, it's because of the Combined Arms Warfare and not because of the commander role. Okay, folks, as I said, fairly quick one today, simply because I do not have the time to throw together any particularly lengthy videos. I need to go to bed very soon and make sure everything is packed and ready for the journey over to Cologne. If you happen to be at Gamescom, I will be around the place, and I would recommend that if you do want to meet up, there should be some details, I think, over on facebook.com/cynicalbrit. That is the best place to look for. I do believe we actually have one. Yes, we do, and we're actually going along to the Team Liquid meetup, so it's probably best that you actually go there too, because that's where we'll be. Otherwise, I will be working a lot, so I am not really in a position where I can just hang around. I am there to work and provide you with mucho great videos. Here's hoping that everything works out according to plan. And assuming everything goes well, I will bring you another mailbox from the hotel in Cologne on Tuesday evening. But if it doesn't come out, then please just understand that I have been traveling an awful lot this month and I am goddamn exhausted. Thank you very much, guys, once again for your patience and support, and I will see you next time.